Hi, Dred. My name is HoSo Terra Toma, a contestant from season 4 of Boulet Brothers Dragula, now streaming on Shutter. Yeah.
How would you describe the Boulet brothers' Dragula to people that maybe don't know?
Boulet Brothers Dragula is a drag reality competition program. We compete for $100,000 while showcasing our drag and the tenets of horror, filth, and glamour. It's a ton of fun, ton of hardcore exterminations that decide who goes home every week. And yeah, we just like to create art and act crazy.
So speaking of, congrats on your big win this week. That must have felt good.
Oh my God, yeah, no, my second win too. Spoiler alert. I am so excited about that. Can't believe. And I was the first one too.
I know. So how would you describe the challenge that you just won?
So it was an acting challenge, which is so
Oh.
crazy to say that I won an acting challenge because A, I've never considered myself an actor. I mean, obviously, as drag performers, we act the scene out on stage, we lip sync, we emote. So the elements are all there for drag performers, but also we are never trained actors. We're never trained actresses. Like we don't act out a scene, we don't memorize lines usually.
Yeah.
So for me to like jump into that kind of blind
Yeah.
and win it, like kind of, oh my God, okay, maybe I can do this.
Pretty validating. Maybe you're going to be in a
Yeah,
horror movie soon. That'll
I
be.
know, which like, oh my
Mhm.
God, that is so wild to me. And also I'm such a big fan of Dread movies. Terrifier was just, oh my God. I love Terrifier and so many other movies. And it's just
Yeah,
wild. It's just wild to think. Yeah.
I know we saw that. I clocked right away when you walked on the set and you mentioned Terrifier. We were very
Yeah, no,
impressed.
I was so gagged. I was like this big ass poster of Terrifier. I was gonna steal that. I was gonna hang it in my room.
Okay, so you like Terrifier. So obviously you're not a casual horror fan. Like you must be the real thing.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
fully, fully, fully. So fun fact, my drag name, Hoso,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a double meaning. I don't know if you can include this. Maybe you can bleep it out. It spells the same way as a Korean acronym. Wait, no, it's a Korean shortened word for horror maniac, but also little faggot. So they kind of sound the same
Cool.
when they're shortened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how much I've had that nickname since I was very, very little. Not little faggot,
Cool.
horror
Okay, you
maniac.
scared me for half of a second there. Do you
Well,
have any like
well,
favorite horror movies that are like just a part of your identity and like who you are?
favorite horror movies. I love so many horror movies. That's such a hard question to but then in recent memory though, I really, really, really remember loving Midsummer.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just
Anything that
yeah.
Ari Aster does. Granted, like Ari Aster hasn't done that many films yet, but like his visions, like the way he makes films, because I'm also a huge like Rosemary's Baby fan and a lot of the films in that atmosphere. And I feel like Ari kind of brings that back in a sense into modern horror
Yeah.
movies. Which like I'm all down for. And also in a similar realm,
Uh-huh.
there's a very another movie that is actually a South Korean movie that I got to watch in theaters in Korea. That's called The Wailing.
Yep.
Um, I think Shutter has it. I think Shutter has The Wailing in their thing, but
Yeah.
The Wailing is just top tier horror. Never expect what you're gonna see. Like even if you hear the spoilers, you're gonna be gagged by what's happening on screen.
Wow, it sounds like
So
you like the hardcore horror. It sounds like you're leaning towards like some of the heavier duty stuff.
well, I also like, like softer, more
Mhm.
comedy-based, like campy horror movies too. I love the old, like ridiculous bad effects, campy as hell horror movies also.
Yeah.
One of my favorite horror movies is well, yeah, horror movies. I think it can be considered horror movie. One of my favorite horror movies is Killer Clowns from Outer Space,
Oof.
which is like so funny, so over the top, so campy, but like so delicious.
I'm scared by it. I have to say, it scares me. There's something very uncanny valley about them that like it freaks me out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the puppet masks are very like realistic, but also like the proportions are so like out of human anatomy that like it scares you because like it's almost human but quite not there yet. So and it's clowns, you know. It's
Clowns.
clowns.
They're so weird.
I know they're so weird, right? As
Yeah.
me dressing up like that on television, it's like clowns are so
We
weird.
love them, but they're scary. What is
Oh yeah.
how is Korea with the horror community? Like, is it really big there? You guys have some incredible horror films, but what's the
Oh,
culture?
absolutely. I mean, even in recent years, you know, horror in Korea, well, we've always had a very big scene for horror movies. Horror movies are relatively uh lesser budget to make.
Hmm.
So horror movies are, you know, always kind of like a lot of Korean directors started directing by making horror movies because they're effective, they're lesser budget, they get more press around them. And yeah, no, Korean horror movies are top tier. As I said, The Wailing. I think one of the more memorable ones that I can remember in recent years is Train to Busan,
Oh
which, you
yeah.
know, huge hyper. I think Train to Busan is also on Shutter.
Oh yeah. It's some.
But no, yeah, Train to Busan, such well directed. I was a huge fan of the director, Yeon Sang-ho, from his earlier works because he used to be an animated movie director. But no, yeah, such great films. Even like very recent hits, Squid Games,
Yep.
has horror elements to it, which I very much enjoyed. So yeah, no, definitely. And right by our side, Japan also has amazing repertoire of horror
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Asia in general has amazing horror.
Oh yeah.
Um, a lot of horror influences in my drag growing up in Asia. So yeah, no, definitely.
Yes. Did you have any like formal training?
Oh, well, I'm a dropout, and I'm
Yeah.
proud to say it. I'm a high school dropout for many reasons, but no, I was not ever classically trained in anything.
Yeah.
Um, I'm self-taught clown. I'm a self-taught dumbass. I like to act full on stage and see where that goes. And I think I well look what that got me, a role in a Dread movie. So you know, you never know.
Yeah. Oh,
Drop out of school, kids.
do it. I support it. Um, has your life changed since Dragula hit the air?
Oh, absolutely 180. It's just like so amazing to be a part of this experience in a sense that like, you know, to be surrounded by a community that actually really, really appreciates the type of drag that you do and like lives for what you do. Because like as an alternative drag artist, and especially an alternative drag artist in Asia,
Mhm.
it's very, very hard sometimes to find that audience. Sometimes you're treated as like a freak
Yeah.
inside of an already ostracized group. And it's hard. And but to find a group of like weirdos who like also likes to get filthy and also likes to get a little weird with things and creative and be fully living in that space of artists is an amazing feeling. It's an amazing feeling. It feels like I finally found a family.
Oh,
And also like just fan reception has been so great. You know, obviously, you know, being on reality television is hard. It's sometimes the fans are not going to be always the nicest. They're going to have a lot to say, and also they're going to attack on your personal character because to them we're characters, not actual people. But I will say the positivity has been so overwhelming. They've been outweighing the negativity by far. It's just so much, and I've been so overwhelmed with love,
were you
overwhelmed with
expecting
support.
were you expecting to be a front runner? Was that always the plan?
Well, I was like, okay, I'm not going home first. That's just
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with these competition, like, you know, you never you do your best, you bring your best, you try to bring your best because not always the budget and the time makes like, at the end of the day, you have to work with what you get there with.
Mhm.
And you add on to it as you go, as you get the critiques and stuff. But no, yeah, it's so hard to expect, especially this season. I got there and I saw the cast and I was like, wow, this is such a fucking tight cast. And as the season went on, it became clear because like it was such a tight race and everyone was bringing it, and it was just so hard to expect anything as an outcome. But I was very blessed enough to make it this far into the competition.
Mhm.
And so far, I've been really, really enjoying my work kind of come alive on stage in this show. It's been actually magical, and because I started drag because of this show. I became known of drag because of a Korean contestant got on Drag Race when it came in Netflix some time ago. I think around like 4 or 5 years ago. But
Kimchi.
when Dragula hit the internet, that's when I was like, holy shit, like
Yeah.
there can be this type of drag. There can be a medium where my love for horror, my love for character portrayal, like my love for everything can mix together and I can become the character. So Dragula just like kind of showed me the way. And
Yeah.
now to be on that very show that inspired me is just like a very surreal, dreamlike moment.
So how would you describe the drag scene in Korea right now?
Very new still, compared to a lot of drag scenes. Obviously, like
Okay.
drag has always been in Korea, but in a very small and underground way. There's a one drag bar that's been here since the 80s, I think. And there's girls who are fully like they're in the States, if you go to a bar, there's always one queen who's in the back, like she's like 50 years old. She doesn't really care about she doesn't really care about anything anymore. She just kind of sits back,
Weather.
smokes her cigarette,
Yeah.
judges the new girls. It's like that, but the whole show is like that. But
Uh,
then they are so authentic to how they started drag in Korea, and they didn't have Drag Race. They didn't have any resources to what drag was in at least in Western sense. So they come out in like traditional Korean garments and like do Korean operas and stuff. It's so like authentically Korean, and you can only see this type of drag in that bar in Korea. So I actually I really, really enjoy going to their bar and seeing their shows. But other than that, after the success of kind of Drag Race and kind of it blew up in Korea, a lot of people, I was one of those people who like found out drag through that and like started drag afterwards. Obviously, Dragula was an inspiration, but it started to kind of blow up after that. And now there are a lot of new queens.
mhm.
Still, I will say, me and my drag sister that I started drag with, and a couple of other performers are only kind of people who are doing what we're doing in Korea. Very, very little representation for different types of drag, I will say. But that's just because the scene is new and the scene is underdeveloped, and there isn't as much reference for it. But that's why I felt like me being the representation on this show, Dragula, was so important because I feel like, by me being on the show, not only Korean performers, but like Asian performers in general, I really hope to kind of push them to be more a little outside of the box, be more creative, and like be living in that really authentic character that you really want to be, even if that's like not alternative drag. If that is alternative drag, though, I definitely think you should audition for Dragula, because if I made this far, hey, why not you?
Hey, don't undersell yourself. You're a scream queen now,
I am
which is
technically,
cool.
yes.
So if you could reboot or if you could be in any like horror movie remake, what would be your choice if you could
Oh
star?
my God.
If you could star, yeah.
That is a question that I should have gotten like 2 days ago
Oh
to think
no.
about. Damn, that's such a loaded question, because it's such a great question, by the way.
Mm.
That is a great question. Okay, I do have an answer, but this is kind of like not, Rocky Horror Picture Show isn't a horror movie, like is not a horror movie, but if I can cheat a little bit, I would love if they did remake a Rocky Horror Picture Show movie and did it great this time, because the last one that was not that great.
No, it wasn't.
Um,
It wasn't very good.
and have like actual queer people in it. I would like to play Columbia. I think that would be such. Columbia is like one of the, like, the personality wise, like I imagine HoSo to be that.
Oh, I see it for you. 100%.
Goblin,
Yeah.
just troll, goblin, giddy.
It's hot too at the same time, so it's.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hey,
So
can you think of any of your Dragula sisters? Like, do any of them get a role? Like, can you automatically picture any of them in
Rocky Horror cast? Well, Dragula cast as Rocky Horror cast.
Yeah.
That's kind of iconic. Actually, okay. Well, I think Sigourney makes a great Scream Queen. But I also want to see Sigourney as Frankenfurter, kind of, because like
perfect. It's perfect.
Sigourney is all that. Sigourney is sex. Like, you know, I would love to see Sigourney as Frankenfurter, but also just the idea of like a cis woman drag queen singing sweet transvestite is just so great for me. Love Sigourney. And I would like to see Sigourney play either Frankenfurter or Janet. Yeah.
Okay. I love that for both. That works very well.
Yes.
I was gonna say maybe.
I think Coco can play great Magenta, because like Magenta is just like, ooh, you know, very, very like, I think Coco can bring that sex to Magenta. That's very essential.
Okay. So we have. Is there any characters that we're missing that I have to? Oh, what about Rocky? Who's Rocky?
Rocky. Well, I think Israel have to be like Rocky. I think Israel just like is automatically cast as Rocky. But no, yeah, I will say I think Dali can make a great riffraff.
We have to get this. Dread has to make this. Dread, are you listening?
Dread has to fund this. Dread has to fund this to be on production.
I'm gonna make some phone calls, so it's totally fine. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
But HoSo, this was such an amazing conversation. Thank you for talking with me today. How can we find you on the internet if we wanted to stalk you? Like, where can we start?
It is HoSo Terra Toma, HoSo Terra Toma, in all social platforms. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I upload a lot of content there.
How's that Twitter? Going? How's the TikTok going?
You know, it's a struggle. You know, I'm supposed to be the Gen Z of the cast with Formelda, and I'm supposed to be good at this shit. But unfortunately, the only thing I'm ever good at is talking shit on Twitter. And well,
here you are.
Watch me try, though. Watch me try. Follow my TikTok. Watch me struggle.
We're all going to follow your TikTok. So now you have to bring your A game, or we're going to be so disappointed. But yeah.
Or suck at it, so people can entertain themselves.
That's true.
While watching me struggle, which is something that people like to see. You know, judging by the comments on later episodes.
Never read the comments. Okay. Yeah. Tell me.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you for talking with me. It's been like a dream.
Oh my God, no, thank you. This was so fun.
Yeah, we're big fans. We're watching every week. We cannot wait to see how it goes, and we're rooting for you. What can we say?